Thank you, Mr. Hariharan. I will try and deserve all those praises you heaped on me in future. Right now, I don't think I do. Anyway, I envy you all to begin with. I have also entered this campus, this compound, without knowing much about cinema. When I met Prasadji, he chose to speak to me in English. I assumed that he must be a BA or something, so I didn't want to be left out of it. So I spoke to him, and till the end we spoke in English. Now, after his demise, I realized that we are both not formally educated. We're cheating each other. Both were good actors. I had the audacity to go and ask my boss whether he'll act in my film, which I was producing. He was a studio owner. And he smiled and asked me, why me? How do you know I'm an actor? I told him of a film where he played antagonist in a film called Drohi. He was surprised that I had seen it at all. And I think I pleased him. I touched the right nerve there. And he agreed. And for me, that was a learning experience. I chose my guru. Apart from Mr. Balachandar, I had the opportunity of choosing and making him work in my film, and without even him knowing, I learned a lot. And during Ek Duje Ke Liye, which I don't know, I was naive, I thought it's another film. Rameshji came, I even negotiated price for the film, which I'm very embarrassed and shy. I should have just done the film without even talking money. There was a delay because of my demanding the price, because it seemed not right. Then I thought, the penny pinching, why are they doing it? I'm an actor. That's the union mentality in me. They're the bosses, let them pay. And then when I was working in Ek Duje Ke Liye, this speech is going to be a little long, bear with me. I have a lot of nostalgia. So when I went to the location, Mr. Balachandar really works me, makes me sweat, because he knows I like to learn, so that's a very useful animal. So I was a load-bearing animal in that farm, which had other animals, intelligent ones too. So I was there, and he used to make me choreograph because I had that background, and when it was rhythmic movement of trolley, I'll have to do that because he knows rhythm, let him do it. Sometimes when in a budget film we do lightning with the reflectors placed outside in a night scene. We shake it from outside. I've done that too. So there was a particular sequence when Prasadji, I think we were Vijayanagaram, and it's a dilapidated location. This gentleman walked to the location, which didn't have a proper road, climbed up a ladder. I was watching him, and boss was there, and we were doing the work, and I was acting in the shot, and then Rati Agnihotri moved into the frame. I ran out of the frame and pushed the trolley because it had to be done in time. And he has a habit of doing this if he likes something or he's thinking. So he did this and looked at me and he said, "You deserve it." I don't know what he was talking about. He was thinking about the remuneration. I think that's the greatest compliment I got from a man who understands the value of money. And later on, when that film became much before it became that, he took me to that Dreamland Theatre where it was released. And that was the incident that Rameshji was mentioning to. And he walked and he said, "So clean." I said, "It should be." No, I used to clean it, he said. That dignity of labor, he was a gate man there. I think of Dreamland Cinema. Now, he has risen to a position where he's still the gatekeeper in cinema itself. And this is that arch through which you're entering into cinema, which is mine, yours, and other people. And I like the informality. This is not magic. It has to be learned. Though people think it is magic, it's all practical. The tricks are all practical. So you'll have to learn it. I envy you all. And I like the informality. Someone said that he was allowed to come in his Bermudas or shorts. I like it. I think that's a freedom. And I envy you all more because I wish I had this. I came here to do the Kannada version of Piriya Vidai, that is Bidai. That was my first connection with they produced it, and it was a small budget film, and I was the dance assistant. I got my pay, and it was a very lean month for me. And that 250 rupees I'll never forget. It got me out of trouble. But the biggest payment I've received is Ek Duje Ke Liye itself. It's still running. That meter is still running for me. And when I asked Prasadji that I'd like to shoot my Apurva Sahodarar in this campus, because we had to, every time we did, it's all in camera. So every time we did an effect, we had to wait for the lab to give us a thumbs up or thumbs down. It's all in camera. So they'll look at it and say, do it again. So the tension built up after the first few days of shooting. Then we thought we'd shift our shooting itself to the lab because we can't take the tension anymore. So we shot on the terraces, even on top of this building, where Apu runs on the roof. This is that building that I'm running on. And I asked him permission, and then he used to walk this, and then he patted the 70mm theater and says, "This is Ek Duje Ke Liye. It's also yours. No bombs, don't break it. But do all your stunts here," he said. And when he was unwell, he was lying down in the studios. That revived him. And that's the kind of man he is. I'm touched, I'm honored. They spoke about me carrying the baton. I don't know whether you could equate that. I had the opportunity of working with him, and like him, I'm fearless. I don't know, like him, whether I'll be successful. This is not success. That is success. The money that Rameshji holds in his hand is not success. Even he knows that. That's why he mentions LVP first and then himself. The humility he must have learned from his father. Because I've had so many stories, including the time when we went to Ek Duje Ke Liye. The film was not yet sold, and he asked me whether you have sold Vishwarupam. and I said, no, I learned from a master, so I'm holding on. So this film was not sold, and he said, I'm going to show the film to a distributor. Would you like to? Are you in Bombay? I said, yes. So I thought Bombay, the glitz of Bombay, so I'm going to travel in a Mercedes-Benz with the Mr. L.V. Prasad, walk in, watch a film, and it'll be cocktail parties and all those kind of things. Allow an elderly person like him to do that. I said, no, sir, I'll carry it. So I carried it to J. Kelly, put it in the lift. It came down, and I was waiting for the Mercedes. There was an ambassador. Everything was a letdown for me. The worst part was, he said, I'm going to another projection. This is Mr. Rai, Gulshan Rai. You stay with him, take care of him. If he wants coffee or something, they'll arrange it. You take care of it. There'll be somebody waiting outside, but you just take care, Mehman hai. That's right. Okay, sir. So I sat behind him, biggest distributor, he slept through Ek Duje Ke Liye. And I coughed. I pretended to get up and nudged his chair. I wanted to keep him awake through it. If my performance didn't, at least my antics were. And he, after the film is over, he asked me, "What are you doing now?" I said, I was awake, so I said, I didn't say anything. I said, "I'm doing films in Chennai. You don't let go of that." He said, that's all he said. So I said, it was a very bad day, and I reported verbatim to Prasad. It's a good film, you've done well. You can't say. He said, and that became Ek Duje Ke Liye. That Mr. Gulshan Roy is no ordinary man. Across the Silver Jubilee celebration, he shouted out at me and said, "Mr. Kamal Haasan, I was wrong." That's my journey with that gentleman. Much more. I have a lot of stories. When he spoke about the apartment versus the camera, I told Prasadji, when I got my second car, it was a foreign car. I said, "This is my second car, you must see it." "Why second car? It's been here for a long time." "Yeah, when did you buy your first car?" "But you acted in that year itself." "Yes, but I first bought a camera." Then he patted me. That's what I did. I bought my camera first and my moviola, and then bought my ambassador. And by the time I got my second car, I was producing Raja Parve with Mr. Prasad acting in it. I've learned quite a lot from him. As a matter of fact, I used to come and sit on story discussions, a film which never got made after Ek Duje Ke Liye. Many stories with many directors. And now I think it's overdue. You owe me another film. I've been an arrogant actor. I've never asked for chance. It came to me. But I think arrogance never helps you. I've realized it over time. That's why I'm asking you this. It must be done. You have an army of directors and technicians here, unlike before. You're probably... Do you have an acting class here? Yeah, don't. I have some more time. All these gentlemen sitting on this dais are achievers. Some of them in the audience are also achievers. So you are among peers who you can proudly emulate. And they are your peers. That's how you'll have to think from now on. The learning will, of course, continue. These certificates are just your gate pass to education in cinema. You will fare better than me because I told you, you're 18 years ahead of me in that way. And about that Rajini story, I have another version of it. I always have another version. We both think differently. Mothers are always very kind to handicapped children. I have fallen so many times. I've hurt myself so many times. They've all been careful children. They're very successful. They walk carefully, very carefully. I have not lost my naivety. I preserve it. It's my strength. Apart from whatever little craft I picked up, my naivety is my strength. My childlike abandon, which I learned from that gentleman, is my strength. I will never lose it. There's always a story or a mother or a producer or a new guru. Who is Jean-Claude Carrier? I just met him, and he is that they are talking about. He carries me even today. I need physical form. I'm a 21st century man. I don't believe in magic. I believe in sweat, tears, life, and death. And I salute this family first. I'll come to another family later. They have reinvested into cinema. Very few have done it. And I would say here they are the only family. And hence they are mine too. I am a son. I have the great honor of being a son of many great families. I'm the son of Shivaji and son of Mr. K. Balachandar, and I'm his brother. Some of you will be saying that in future. You will become my relative, you'll become my brother, you'll become my son. This gentleman, Anand Krishnamurthy, I don't know, it was a funny dialogue in a film. No, Perry engineer in Sati Leelavati, he played my son. So it is a family. It will be there. And I like the way, kudos to Hariharan and the faculty and of course the institution that facilitates everything. The Bermuda pants, the whistled Vande Mataram, everything I like. I like it because there were times when you whistled, your father said, "What are you, a rowdy? Stop whistling." And an anthem is whistled now. The world is changing. We know how to respect, but you cannot twist my arm to give you respect. You'll have to earn it, and they have earned it. I could see it. And I was a bit left out when they read the resume of Ravi K. Chandran. My fault, totally. Marudanayakam would have been the top of the list. I'm not saying it in a very arrogant, selfish way. I've seen the work. Above all, I'm a connoisseur of cinema, and he's done extraordinary work. And with the arrogance of the creators we are, it's an industry's loss. That's all we can say. But somehow I want to make people see it, whatever form it is. It's great work for the time it is done. And when I see it, it's a personal conversation, but you're a party to it. You can listen to it. When I saw Apocalypse Now, or Apocalypto, then I said, well, we've done it before. So that's another certificate I dole out today. It's his work, nothing. I just hand over the certificate. But that is the kind of man he is, and I learned from every quarter that I could because I'm very hungry. And that's what you should be. I'm glad. I usually don't make these long speeches. I do so today because I'm at home. And there was a little joke Hariharan said as to why he called it the Academy, so that everyone gets an Academy Award. The next big, important institution that you must create is really the Academy Award from India, where you'll have Europeans, Westerners coming and take it from us. This is not rhetoric. I believe it is possible. I've worked with people like Ravi K. Chandran. I've worked with actors. I've worked with technicians from India who have no budget, sometimes even no exposure. And I'm proud of this achievement. We are fumbling because we are our vendors are deciding our content. That's where the problem is coming. It is not driven by passion. People like these should drive that passion. It's coming from the bottom. It can never work, because there was a discussion when Rameshji spoke about youth. I took an advice from a young man who died young. He was shot dead. His name was Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. That is youth. When we want a change, become it. That's his quote. And we will not, as filmmakers, find out the demography, market research. Leave it to the businessmen. You become the change. You can become the change. You will become the change. I promise you. I have only made films, the good ones I'm talking about. Sometimes halfway through the film, you know, like a bad marriage, you go through it. But some films you know, and those are the films I made because that's the kind of film I wanted to see. That's my market research. That's the only film you should want to make. Failure, success, who can say? Can I give a certificate saying this film will succeed, this film won't? Prasad ji couldn't say it. Haasan Saab couldn't say it. Why would I dare do that? So I make films which I really want to see, or at least show off. And that's what I think. It's not an advice. It's my way of working. Like Mr. Balaji said, you have a way, I have a way. Yes, this is my way of thinking. I'm not going to give you advice because I never took any. I only picked what was suitable for me. And that's what you should do. It's a long speech, forgive me. I enjoyed myself.